Well, fellas, we did it. We made it. End of 2024. I don't even know where November went. Now that we're at the end of the road, we're finally back. Yearly tradition where we go through the skins and we do a little top 10 list of the best, worst, and most missed potential skins of the year. I went and looked through all the rest of the skins that we had, and there was a lot of really good skins this year. There was also a lot of really bad ones. And also a bit of a ground rule that I set out for these things. If there's a worse skin, I'm picking the worst one out of that skin line. We're not gonna double dip, try and have a bit of variety in it all, you know. Infernal skin line is the top 10. There we go. There's the reason that this artwork is up on screen, but has since been changed retroactively, and it now looks a lot better. Deathsworn Victor, which this was my favorite Victor skin personally, but removing the mask and removing the big bulky shoulder pauldron and all the glowing visual effects, you kind of removed all the great stuff about the skin. Thankfully, they've retroactively added that back in. Let him cook. But it still goes on the worst one for honorable mentions because they did kind of flub it up real bad at the start. Honorable mention number 2, and that's Earthrune Skarner. This is another example of a Riot's whole thing they started this year is when they rework a champion, the lower quality skins get increased in price to match the quality. What about this improved? Like, they didn't give it any new visual effects. I guess the boulder is a gemstone. That's kind of it. With the rework, you have that opportunity to make this construct of living stone and grass and roots, and they just kind of made it into a walking Nexus turret. Not a big fan of what they did to this one. But you'd think by increasing the quality, they mean like they do with CrabGod, where they gave CrabGod a new voice filter and some new visual effects. Like, if you just want to make Skarner's visual effects more blue, this actually would have been a fun way to make a pseudo-classic Skarner if you wanted to. But they just did it, and I don't like it. All right, well, honorable mention number 3. Who remembers, and I'm bundling this entire skin line together, who remembers Dragonmancers happened this year? I completely forgot. They made it for, I think it was Rakan, Kassadin, Fiora, and another one. I don't even remember. That's how damn forgettable these are. These skins are boring. I don't care for these at all. They were kind of fun once, but they didn't innovate at all, and every single time they feel more and more lazy. And especially with this time as well, they slapped it on a bunch of really old champions. If you give these fancy visual effects and these crazy over-designed outfits on those 2010 animations, they look like ass. And final honorable mention, I'm just gonna lump all the stupid ass mythic scams into one thing here because they all suck. These two especially so. These ones are especially devoid of any life. What if we inverted the colors and charged $200 each? No. And it's been the gateway because now we have the, what is the stupid Exalted skins. That's what I'm saying. I was saying when they released Dark Cosmic Jin, do you guys remember?
Yeah, sure, maybe it's just one $200 chroma now, but what happens if this succeeds and Riot decides to push that even further?
Now they're doing it every patch. Now there's a 1 in 10 chance your champion gets a skin and it's gotcha. Dumb and stupid, and I hate it all. Let's go into the actual list, all right? So number 10, I think conceptually was really good. And I do really like the skin in theory. I just think the way they executed on the idea feels like really lackluster. And it feels crazy because I have been viscerally against champions triple dipping into legendary skins. But Foreseen Yasuo was kind of ruined because it was just an epic skin. It could not capitalize on its theme at all because of it. And so they have to try and find workarounds to make it more exciting. So they give him this stupid ass blue hair and these super vibrant colors. Like, I want this skin to exist because it's old man Yasuo. The whole point of it is it's supposed to be Yasuo down in the dumps. He's sad and miserable old man. That's what I wanted out of this skin. He needs to be covered in dirt. That's what I was saying. And we could have gotten fun voice lines of old Yasuo just giving up on everything. This whole skin, I think the potential of it was completely flubbed. So I would never even use it because like, well, you pitched the thematic to me and you didn't deliver. Like the idea, do not like the execution. All right. Number 9 I have here is a skin from the very start of the year, and one that I thought not only did they completely miss the mark on what they could have done with this skin, but also felt completely unnecessary and redundant to the previous skin they got. And I'm talking about Porcelain Graves. I really don't like this. I really... Look how clean he is. Why is he so clean? It's funny because they could have done something really interesting with this. Because Graves is a rambunctious troublemaker who just ruins everyone else's day for his own benefit. Like, wouldn't that have been fun? Like, he's the porcelain protector who broke all his shit.
I forgot this was even a skin to
Exactly. You could have had his gun is all damaged. He's got all these torn clothes and broken all the porcelain because he breaks things. That's his shtick. And Aurelian Sol doesn't even like him either. So why would he respect the way of the dragon?
Graves, you're the downgrade of the millennium.
And also, there's Misfortune. Misfortune is also the Dragon Zodiac Protector. So why are you here, Graves? Why are there two of them? And to top it all off, the most recent skin that Graves got before this was the esports one, which is also a blue and white dragon-themed skin. Whoa, we waited that long for that? Ugh. Moving on to number 8. Skin that came out pretty much around the same time. Part of Heaven's Scale. I had to do some thinking because a lot of Heaven's Scale to me just is kind of uninspired and doesn't really match the theme it's trying to go for. The worst one for me is Lee Sin. I think this sucks, dude. This is so lame. And why? They really didn't have the patience. You couldn't wait 3 months to give Lee Sin another skin. 3 months. It's crazy to me that they had to give him another legendary. And the weirdest thing is, look at the ult animation. It's worse than the ASU. His animations are so sloppy and stretchy. There's no impact to any of his abilities, especially when you compare it to like Muay Thai or Boxer or any other skin that he has now. It feels lackluster and just like you're made of plastic. I really don't like how this skin feels or how it looks in game. Why is Lee Sin here? I don't know. It's his second dragon-themed legendary as well, so it's also redundant on top of it. Not a fan. Don't like it. Lee Sin, you got way better skins than this, especially after the ASU. On to number 7. This one also came at a very important event. And this one also pissed me off. Whereas with Lee Sin, who got the legendary, this one was completely botched because it didn't get the legendary. And because the champion really needs something to make them look cool. I'm talking about Empyrean Nocturne. If you guys don't know the context behind this skin, Nocturne is what kickstarted the entire Empyrean universe. Pike is doing what he does and turned to Empyrean because of Nocturne's influence. Why does Nocturne just look like another Empyrean? He looks indistinguishable. Tell me that's not Zed. You can't see the bottom half of his legs? That's just Empyrean Zed right there, my guy. That's the same thing. Oh, there's nothing about this that makes it any different from any of the other Empyreans. And what it could have been absolutely amazing and actually unique from the rest of the Empyreans just... You disappointed me, Nocturne. You need a rework, though.
I am disgusted.
You definitely need a VGU at some point, I think. All right, next one. It was a bit of a toss-up, mostly because both of them I find either lacking or kind of unnecessary. Talk about Anima Squad. It was a toss-up for 2 of them. And you can take whichever one you want. I have the art of Cybercat Yumi, but also Leona. Leona was just so boring. It's the same aesthetic over and over. And Yumi, why is she blue? It's kind of just blue Yumi. And I get she's supposed to be a hologram, but especially in game, she does not look like one at all. She's supposed to be like the team's assistant, made out of Primordian tech. So why isn't she like a bug or a fish? That's a cat, dude.
The fuck is that? What the fuck is that, a fucking cat?
You could have literally done Parasite Yumi. You could have made her look like one of those isopods or something. Like she's made out of Primordian tech. Why is she just a cat? Meh. I think the idea of having Yumi be the virtual assistant to the team is kind of fun if they utilized it at all and didn't look so plain. Not a fan of it. Anyway, on to number 5. I'm cheating. I'm cheating my own rules, not because I'm double dipping, but because I couldn't decide which one. I couldn't tell you which of the Infernal skins I dislike more because they're all the goddamn same. Not a fan of this. And the reason I think why the Infernals this time around are worse than they've ever been before is because, do you guys remember the skin line poll from years ago? And Gothic won in a complete landslide, and they reinvented it and turned it into Fright Night, which even got its second batch this year as well. But with the knowledge of the previous skin poll that we had, which was between Crime City Nightmare, Debonair 2.0, and Monster Tamers, and eventually all 3 of those got made within the span of like a year or 2. So the notion was that even though Fright Night won, when Infernal came back, they were gonna try something new. They didn't. No. Like, yeah, we element swapped Ash. Weirdly enough, I like the aesthetic of Infernal. I think this looks cool, but it's entirely substanceless. It's like, do you like the character on fire? There you go, that's it. Especially when you could have taken the opportunity to reinvent it. It's empty. All right, number 4. This is a skin that came out not too long ago, and oh, you make me angry, Phil. Kaisa, come on. You finally had the chance. You finally had the perfect, zero excuse opportunity to make a monster Kaisa skin. If you're gonna make her a monster anywhere, Darkstar? Yes, that's not Darkstar. That's not Darkstar. They don't look like and I feel like Darkstar's in the same boat where it's also struggling to innovate on anything. But at least, even if it was just like Infernal Ash, where it's just more of the same aesthetic, at least here would have been like an option to make Kaisa more monstrous, and they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't stop themselves. We had to give her pretty face. Oh, lame. Freaking lame.
If the void couldn't corrupt Kaiser's perfect face, what makes you think Darkstar could?
On to number 3. We're in the top 3 now. And this one, I think, this champion just keeps getting put in skin lines, and they don't do anything to differentiate their skin pool at all. Right on the money. Talking about Blood Moon Zed. I don't even think this skin is poorly designed. This was Zed's most wanted skin. Look at Zed community. They all wanted Blood Moon Zed because it makes such perfect sense. But then, like, okay, so we finally got Blood Moon Zed. We got a red evil ninja Zed skin. But we also have Project, and we also got Immortal Journey, and we also got Empyrean. That is... That's all he's got. And so this one hurts more because it was a skin people wanted to exist so badly. But by the time it finally came out, it's like, well, we've done this like 1,000 times. If this skin came out 7 years ago, I think the reception would have been a lot better. And there's a reason I think most people have forgotten this even happened, which is, again, a damn shame because so many people wanted it to exist for so long.
By the way, your mic is real quiet.
Oh, yeah, it is real quiet. Anyway, let's go on to number 2. Second worst skin of the year. And this one, we talked about Blood Moon, we talked about Infernal and Darkstar. There's a lot of skins that are just repeating old thematics. And to me, there was a clear worst one in that avenue. And a clear worst out of the very few bunch that we got. What the What did they do to you, Gangplank? What did they do? Why? Pink is an awesome color. Gangplank, I'm sorry you do not rock the pink. I'm sorry. It does not fit you at all, my guy. I'm sorry. This looks horrible. The craziest thing is that he's like the captain, basically. He's like the big bad boss. And this is Project. This is a skin line about robots and cyborgs. By technicality in League, Gangplank is already a cyborg. He has a robot arm. So how in the living hell did you make a cyborg skin for the cyborg champion? And he's the least cybernetic, I think, out of any Project skin we've ever seen. He just has a robot arm in this dumbass Injustice 2 Superman helmet. Why the Fisher-Price guns? Why anything? This whole skin makes me look and just ask why. Why does this exist? Lame. Now we get on to number 1. I was gonna put Immortal Legend Ari here for obvious reasons because of the price. I think that skin, the fact that it sold as well as it did for what it is, we're already feeling it with the Exalted Jinx and with Set coming out now. And I could put Jinx here for similar reasons. If you removed that $500 price tag, the skin itself looks pretty nice. And it's supposed to be commemorative. Words are difficult. It's supposed to celebrate Faker. And Jinx, I think the actual design of Fractured Jinx is my favorite ever. I think it is so cool and fits her so well. So I think design-wise, I actually really like this. I like Jinx a lot. Ari's passable for me. It's just the price that bogs them down a lot. There's one skin that came out this year that actually infuriated me. And I don't know if anyone's gonna predict this. I think the worst skin of the year is Prototype Victor, because pre-rework, who gave a single shit about Prototype Victor? Prototype Victor was so just a mess. I need to provide context proof for this one because look at it. Look at it. I demand all of you look at it. So I thought if you're going to do a prototype Victor and you're going to base it on Arcane, the whole VGU is based on Arcane, I think this will be the thing that changed all your minds because it's what sparked it for me. There's this fan art, and I want you to look at this and tell me. Tell me. That is not what prototype Victor should have been. If you're gonna make it about Arcane, why did you do this? Who cared about this? Why'd you have to keep this intact? Of all the Victor skins, this was the one that you wanted to keep intact. This one, I don't understand. Because if this came out, it also would have been a fun way to be like, oh, that's the Victor that I've loved for like 2 years now. They did this, and I hate it. This skin pisses me off. Anyways, those are my opinions on the worst skins of 2024. So let me know what you fellas think down in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for the missed potential.